Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name is Preston. I'm here with Sam. Say hello.
Hello, welcome to this fun week of coverage, guys.
It's super exciting. Japan just finished the championship that they've been working up to since the game released. Um, and if you haven't seen the results from news yesterday or you're not on Twitter, Daddy won.
Daddy won! I'm so excited that he's getting his chance to shine, and I'm so excited to go over these decks. But quickly, this is our reminder that the Gleam giveaway is go live right now, so make sure you hit the description. It's down there. Hit Twitter, guys. Make sure you guys are in this entry. Winners are getting full set of common rares green, full set common rares purple, and a couple promo packs. So make sure you guys are in there and getting your entries.
So there's going to, I believe, be four winners.
Four winners.
The promo packs and some Japanese packs go to one person each, and then green and purple go to one person each.
Absolutely.
Join it. We're super happy. You guys got us to 500 subscribers. We're on a race to the bottom. I mean, the top, and we'll get there. But thank you all. We're super happy that you're joining us on this crazy adventure.
Ooh, and I love giving away free stuff. Yes,
Oh yeah.
sir. And back to Daddy, who not only won the tournament, he took first and second. Shout out Pops. Shout out that crew, baby.
Yeah. And this is the breakdown in Japanese of the decks that were represented in this tournament. 19 deck list of Edward Newgate. Super interesting, and not a surprise it won with such a big showing. Not that that really matters. It's all about the pilot at the end of the day. 14 Luccis.
That's the one.
Super interesting to see Lucci because I have underestimated that deck. And the best way to make a deck succeed is underestimate it. Speaking of which, Ace with 8, Nami with 4, Zora with 3. On the other column, we got Yellow Black, Charlotte Lin Lin with 1, Kaido with 1, Law with 1, and Kinemon with 1. That's the most surprising thing. Kinemon with only 1 when most set 2 tournaments had like 8 in the top 32. Everyone just dipped on him and went straight into either Lucci or Whitebeard. That's incredible to me.
We thought they would drop off just a little bit just because of the green set wasn't incredibly strong. But we did think that set one and two would be, they would hold their own. They would at least hold a strong case early in the meta. But we did anticipate Whitebeard being very, very good. I don't think we anticipated Whitebeard completely wiping Kinemon off the face of the planet, which I think is what happened. But let's get into the decks. Let's try to figure this out for ourselves.
Yeah, so we got 2 Whitebeard decks.
This is the runner-up of the tournament.
Yeah.
Um,
Look very similar, so if you get confused, the biggest difference I think is the Whitebeard Pirates event card. If you see 4 of those or one of those, that's the biggest like standout because all of these are Whitebeard Pirates, which has slowly evolved through set 2, where we were mixing Straw Hats and Whitebeards for that extra draw, and now we don't need Straw Hats.
no.
Whitebeard's got ISO, you got a top 5 searcher, and then you can bump through that event card to get some more searching. There's no need for Straw Hats anymore.
No, I think the ISO if you add the searcher to any archetype, they immediately go up in value. Whitebeard was desperately missing this from set 1 and 2. It's the reason Zoro, I think, always had a step up on him. But with ISO and the power that's coming out of, I love all these new cards too. Ryoku, this was a card that I never saw in set 1, set 2, maybe early. But as the lists were refining, we were seeing less and less, and then none. And then this Marco, obviously, these 2 cards being at 4 in both decks are
Yeah.
very excellent. I think this card is a reason we're not seeing very much Kinemon. This is killing a lot of those very effective tools for him.
Yeah, so this is set 3 Marco. He KOs at 3,000 or less, right?
Yep, 3,000 less.
On play. So that's super nasty. And then he can come back. I have to look at the Q&A at some point to see if when he comes back, if he's getting played, in which case he would get to KO again.
Says your turn.
It says on your turn. Okay, so you can't do it again. That would be disgusting. I'm glad it's on your turn. Scary.
If there's ever a case where an event card kills him out of like the trigger, maybe this will happen. But more or
Right.
less, he is staying on the board. And actually, I think that's a huge deal.
6K power.
He's hitting that 6K threshold as well, which is if Whitebeard's going to be that threshold, we're already hitting it.
Mhm.
And I love this power coming out of these vanillas. These are 4 drops, and if you have Moby Dick established and it's effective and it's working, these are 4 drop 8Ks.
Right.
That's kind of nasty.
Very nasty to be swinging at 8K at all, and that's with no Dawn attached. So if this guy's already on board, you still have your Dawn to play Whitebeard at the end of turn, or middle of turn, so that you get that boost on your leader. Um,
Yeah,
it's
very sticky as well. Like these Marcos are very sticky. These vanillas are very hard to clear under most clearing situations with the cards that are in rotation and meta right now.
mhm.
I love seeing the splash of event cards. You need these event cards to make Marco work. Marco to come back needs to trash event cards, so the most effective ones are these 1 costs. And I think Guard Point and Radical Beam are the more effective out of those group, if you were to ask me.
One costs 3K on guard point, and then Radical Beam gets better as you lose life to be a one cost 4K, which Whitebeard's inevitably going to be lower life, especially towards the mid to late game with losing 1 life per turn. So Radical Beam's been a great use case in 4 life leaders and Whitebeard, because they're going to get there a lot sooner to be fully effective. Something interesting, I think, is for Moby Dick. I didn't expect that, but talking about these 4K or the 4 drop 6Ks coming long online to 4 cost 8K attackers totally makes sense that you're going to want to see your Moby Dick. Um, and then having extra doesn't hurt because I believe you can get rid of them with Marcos to either Marco, right? Because it's Whitebeard Pirates or an event card. And I
The
think stages are events. Maybe I'm wrong.
the SR says events, so I don't think we can trash Moby Dick because the Moby Dick does
Okay,
says stage, and I'm pretty sure they're different. But the other Marco, the one from set 2, the
this
rare,
is
can
Whitebeard.
absolutely just because it says Whitebeard in its type, so this one is very valid to trash. And it's the same kind of concept we were playing with Onigashima. You're able to trash it with Queens, so it feels very safe playing Moby Dick at this count because you
Yeah.
do want to see it. That turns all of your guys into very scary offensive threats. Even Ryoku, who would be normally 4K. He goes up to 7 with his own effect. Very powerful guy. Very deck. So very exciting.
Red still pushing the limits, and I did not expect this from Red when we started. I expected Red to be kind of mid and just flashy, and they're absolutely running through these really cool effects, being able to KO, being able to power up. They're getting all the tools, which I wasn't expecting them to get when we first started a couple months ago.
A searcher will really do that for a deck, because all these tools were here. Like these are all cards they were familiar with. Marco's obviously very good at, but a searcher will really take this deck to the limit. And if we look at the winning deck, they kept a lot of the same formula and they experimented. We see a couple aces here. We'll see a couple Sanjis. So I really think that what really took this deck from a very good A tier deck to an S tier, my guess in S tier, is ISO.
Yeah, being able to search is super powerful. And this pilot took it to the limit. They literally added as many search cards as they could with the Whitebeard Pirates at 4. Um, and like we were just saying, it's not harmful because both Marcos can discard them if you're in the late game and you need those Marcos to stay on board. If you already have a Whitebeard or 2 in hand, an ace, all of your options, and you can discard that searcher, it's not a character card. Who cares? Get rid of it. Keep the Marco on board and keep attacking with that 6K power.
Yeah, I don't think Sanji's adding anything crazy. I think he's just an extra couple 2Ks.
I think so.
So I don't know if there's anything too much to read into the Sanji. But I do think his effect offers a lot of power. So if that's, if you need power quickly. But there's nothing too different to say versus the other deck. There's a couple cards different. Yes, I don't know if necessarily they played a huge part of the deciding factor. I'd imagine hands and all that mattered. But it's just nice to see Whitebeard taking this win because they were always just missing it, right? There were always a lot in the rotation, just taking third or fourth or fifth. So it's nice to see Whitebeard
They
take
had
that
one
jump.
victory.
I think they might have
And
had one early on, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the differences between this are just card counts, and that might be down to player preference. Um, Whitebeard only has so many 2K counters, so adding a couple extra Sanjis isn't a big surprise. You're just adding to defense that you could use late game. Um, the winning deck had less of the 4-drop 6K counters, but they added Ace, which can get super disgusting in the long run. Just hitting an ace if you wanted to is just an option. You have an effect on your card instead of working towards those vanillas. He won, so I think card choice is really up in the air when it comes to top players. You have a few key differences, and they might make a difference, but in the end, player mindset and ability will probably win you more games than a few random spicy cards.
I think Ace is a good card for this list just because having an extra rush keyword is always very valuable. You don't really want to play your Jozus. You'd rather use them as your 2K combos. So I think having Ace with that rush effect is nice. I think if we see these less refined, I imagine seeing a couple Ace here. So I think this is a good call. And I'm just excited to see what different versions of this is going to look like because a counter will rise, and I'm excited to see how they adapt.
Yeah, I'm absolutely excited to see if Iceberg can come through and beat down on Whitebeard.
I want my hand on one of those Lucci lists.
I know.
I definitely had Lucci a little lower going into it, but I imagine that extra offense helped that matchup. So hopefully it was a good run for that.
Absolutely. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go into the description down below, hit that Gleam link, enter the contest. We're super excited to be able to bring that to you. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Meta Monday. 1 liter, 10 minutes. Let's go.
Let's
Thank you for
go.
watching.
Bye bye.
See you in the next one. Later.
Oh,
Whitebeard, Whitebeard, Whitebeard.
he is the strongest of them all.
Pops leading the future of One Piece.
All the scars are on his chest, nothing on the back.
The One Piece is real.
That's so funny.